Look around the trading world and you will see a story that repeats itself year after year. There are countless individuals who have been trading for a long time. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and months into years, yet, despite the passage of this most precious commodity, time, their trading habits remain frozen in place. They are trapped in a cycle, making the same fundamental errors again and again. Sometimes they are devoured by greed, at other times they are paralyzed by fear. And the most painful part of this entire ordeal is watching valuable time, the one resource you can never get back, slip through their fingers with nothing to show for it but frustration and dwindling capital. Success remains a distant, elusive dream, always just out of reach. But friends, today that cycle can end. I have brought to you something extraordinary, a resource whose praise I cannot sing highly enough. It is a book titled Day Trading, a 21-day step-by-step guide to invest like a real professional day trader, authored by the insightful Anthony Kreil. This isn't just another book filled with abstract theories. Inside these pages you will discover the hidden mechanisms of the market, the concealed formulas and psychological frameworks that most new traders aren't even aware exist. You might be wondering, why is discipline such a colossal factor in trading? The answer lies in a dark, unspoken truth of the markets. Every single year, millions of new traders enter the arena, their eyes shining with dreams of rapid wealth. They stare at charts for hours, consume endless YouTube videos, and join every Telegram group promising signals. But the reality is stark. Over 90% of these individuals give up and wash out within a year. Why? Because they never truly understood the formidable power of discipline. They spend their time searching for the Holy Grail strategy, hunting for shortcuts and chasing signals, yet when they step onto the real battlefield, the live market, their untrained habits betray them. Their fingers click on impulsive buys and sells, their minds become clouded by fear and greed, and their accounts are slowly drained. If trading were as simple as finding one clever strategy and watching the money pour in, would every second person be a millionaire? The raw truth is that trading is not merely a game of strategy, it is a game of discipline. Let us be honest, discipline can seem boring. It is the part most people overlook. They think, I am smart enough to beat the market, I don't need rigid rules. But the empirical evidence proves that victory is secured not by intelligence alone, but by unwavering discipline. Consider the story of a trader who spent years trying every strategy under the sun, scalping, swing trading, options, futures. Each time he started with excitement, but within days everything would fall apart. Why? Because he consistently broke his own rules. He would unset stop losses, or he would remove them mid-trade for him. Discipline was a burden. The result? Years gone, capital depleted, and the light of hope extinguished from his eyes. Now contrast him with a consistently profitable trader. This individual might seem boring. They do the same things every single day. Pre-market analysis, risk calculation, maintaining a trading journal. They are unseeking excitement. They are untrading for the thrill. In trading, being boring is often profoundly profitable. The rich trader may appear monotonous, but it is that very consistency that builds lasting wealth. Discipline means resisting temptation. It means holding fast to your rules, even when the market tries to seduce you. How many times have you moved your stop loss praying for a reversal, only to watch the loss deepen? Visualize this. You are a skilled swordsman on a vast battlefield. Your sword is your trading plan. If you neglect to sharpen and practice with it daily, it will feel heavy and clumsy in a real fight. The market is that. Battlefield discipline is your weapon. If you hone it every day, no opponent can defeat you. But if you ignore it, the very first strike could be your last. This, my friends, is the first formula. Discipline is destiny. If over these 21 days you change just one habit, the habit of discipline, I can guarantee you your trading will be completely reborn. But this is merely the first door. Once you pass through it, you will be confronted with a deeper, more personal truth. Truth that both terrifies and forges every successful trader. Are you ready to discover what that is? Formula 2. Conquer the enemy within. Fear and greed. You have likely heard it said that in the stock market your greatest enemy is not the broker, the institutional whale, or the insider trader. Your most formidable adversary has always been seated within you. Its names are fear and greed. If discipline is your primary weapon, then emotional control is the armor that protects you while you wield it. Discipline shows you the path, but if your emotions dominate, you will stumble on that path every single time. Anthony Kreil points out that every new trader makes the same critical error. They focus all their attention on charts, signals, and indicators, but they never learn to fight the two psychological monsters residing in their own mind. This is where their downfall begins. Imagine this common scenario. You enter a trade, and the stock initially moves in your favor. Your heart starts to race. This is it. You think the jackpot. Greed takes the wheel, whispering, just hold on a little longer, let the profits run. Then abruptly the market reverses your paper. Profits vanish and fear grips you. In a panic, you sell at the worst possible moment. The result? No profit, no capital, only sheer frustration. This cycle repeats for new traders daily. This second formula teaches us a brutal lesson. If you cannot control the internal forces of fear and greed, the market will punish you relentlessly. Let's define these enemies clearly. Fear is the dread of being wrong, of losing money, of failure. It's the anxiety that prevents you from pulling the trigger on a valid setup. But have you noticed? The more you fear, the more opportunities you let slip away. The market rarely rewards those who live in constant apprehension. Greed is the insatiable hunger for more. It's the voice that says just a little more, causing you to ignore your exit strategy. It's the impulse to take oversized risks for a potentially larger payoff. The outcome of greed is almost always catastrophic loss. Anthony Kreil emphasizes that the successful trader is not the one with the best strategy, but the one who can recognize their emotions, acknowledge them, and still make the rational decision dictated by their plan. Here is a powerful visualization. Picture two demons living inside you. One is named fear, the other greed. They constantly whisper in your ear. When the market rises, greed says hold on, the real fun is just starting. When the market falls, fear screams run. Everything is going to crash. If you listen to these two, you will never find stability. The professional trader does something different. They hear the whispers, but they do not obey. They recognize these demons for what they are and keep them under control. They operate strictly according to their predefined plan, regardless of how loudly fear screams or how seductively greed whispers. Ask yourself, how many times have you seen a perfect setup, but did you untake the trade purely out of fear? How many times have you watched a healthy profit evaporate because greed convinced you to hold just a little longer? If this has happened, you have lost a battle to your emotions. The rich trader knows that the only way to fight fear and greed is with an unbreakable system of rules. They have predefined stop losses, a fixed risk-reward ratio, and they never ever allow their emotions to override their system. This sounds simple, but it is the most difficult work you will ever do. The market tests you every single day with a new temptation, a new fear. But if you learn to master yourself, you will win consistently. As one seasoned trader famously said, to win in the market, you must first win within yourself. That is the true essence of the second formula. But this is only half the story. Controlling fear and greed is not enough, because the market plays games not just with your emotions, but with your very identity and mindset. And that leads us to the profound secret of the third formula, Formula 3, the mindset reset and identity shift. What is the greatest illusion in trading? Many people believe that if they could just find a better strategy, a secret indicator, or an insider tip, their lives would change overnight. My friend, this is the biggest lie you can tell yourself. The market is not controlled by an indicator or a secret strategy. The only way to exert control over your trading is to reset your entire mindset. This is the third formula, mindset reset and identity shift. You might wonder, what does identity have to do with trading? Everything. If you identify as a new trader or a gambler, your decisions will reflect that. You will look for shortcuts, chase excitement, and act impatiently. But if you identify as a professional trader, your decisions will transform. You will cultivate patience, follow rules meticulously, and trust your system. Anthony Kreil states that successful trading is not a skill to be learned, but an identity to be adopted. This is the core reason why most people can spend years in the market and still repeat the same mistakes. Their underlying identity never changes. Here's a dark truth. Many traders behave like gamblers. To them, every trade is a lottery ticket. They think maybe this one will be the jackpot, but guess what? The jackpot never comes, because the gambler's identity is designed for self-destruction. Now look at the professional trader. Their identity is fundamentally different. They view every trade as a business decision. They never trade based on emotions. They know that no single trade will change their life, but thousands of disciplined, systematic trades certainly will. So the third formula declares, if you want to succeed in trading, you must first ask yourself a fundamental question. What is my true identity? Am I a gambler or am I a professional trader? Rewind your own journey. How many times have you said, just let me hit one big profit and then everything will change? How many times have you justified a risky move by telling yourself, I'll learn, just let me take this one chance? And every time it resulted in the same loss, the same frustration, the same guilt. Why? Because deep down you still identified as a gambler. Your identity never shifted. The rich trader understands that for consistency in the market, they must completely reset their thinking. They remind themselves daily that they are a professional. They execute every trade according to their rules and plan, and this self-perception sets them apart from the reckless crowd. A mindset reset is not just about thinking positive, it's about actively changing your identity. There is no shortcut. Every time you follow your discipline, every time you control your emotions, every time you trade by your rules, you are strengthening your new identity as a professional, and that identity over time becomes your destiny. Anthony Kreil puts it perfectly. The market will always show you what you expect to see. If your mindset is that of a gambler, the market will treat you as one. If your mindset is that of a professional, the market will slowly, steadily begin to reward you. Imagine this powerful scene. You are standing in front of a mirror and you see two faces reflected back. One is the gambler, tired, fearful, and consumed by greed. The other is the professional trader, calm, disciplined, and focused. Every day, with every habit, every decision, and every trade, you are choosing which one you will become. And that choice will write your destiny. But the story does not end here. After the mindset reset comes the formula that will give your trading a solid structure, the daily routines and habits without which no professional trader can survive. Are you ready to discover what that daily structure looks like? Formula 4. Your system is your success. You've probably heard that success never arrives overnight. It is always the result of the small incremental steps you take and repeat every single day. And this is the biggest problem for most traders. They never build a structured framework for their lives. They wake up and immediately open their charts. They pick up a random tip from a WhatsApp group. They try a strategy they saw in a YouTube video the night before. Their day is consumed by randomness, and at the end of it all they're left with is frustration and guilt. The dark truth is that random habits only ever produce random results. Anthony Kreil states that a trader's true success is hidden not in their strategy but in their daily structure consistency. In the markets is granted only to those whose daily routine becomes a system in itself. This is the fourth formula. Daily structure and systemized routine. Think of it like going to the gym. A trainer tells you that to build a great physique you must do the same sets and reps every day. But if you do push-ups one day, skip running the next, and eat pizza on the third, what result will you get? Zero, because a body is built through consistency. Trading is identical. If you are disciplined one day and reckless the next, you will never see results. The market only rewards those with an ironclad daily structure. Imagine the day of a professional trader. They don't open charts randomly. They have a fixed routine. Pre-market analysis, risk calculation, journaling every trade, and an end-of-day review to assess what went right and what went wrong. They do this every single day, whether the market is exciting or boring. They never deviate from their routine. Now look at the new trader. They wake up and immediately start hunting for exciting trades. They have no written plan. They enter trades without stop losses. They do want to keep a journal because they believe it's a waste of time. This random, undisciplined lifestyle is the root of their ruin. If you are serious about making trading your career, you must build a structure that you follow with religious dedication. Your daily structure is what transforms you from a gambler into a professional. Why isn't this easy? Because the human mind rebels against structure. Discipline feels boring. Routine feels monotonous. But it is that very monotony that creates extraordinary outcomes. Anthony Kreil notes that successful traders always look boring. Their lives are not filled with thrill. Their lives are filled with habits and repetition, and it is this repetition that grants them ultimate freedom and wealth. So the fourth formula proclaims, your system is your success. If you lack a system, the market will punish you repeatedly. But if you have a daily structure, even the market's unpredictability cannot shake you. Envision this. You are standing inside a strong fortress. Outside, a massive enemy army is gathered. They attack again and again, but the fortress does not fall. Why? Because its walls are impenetrable. Those walls are your daily structure. If the walls are breached, the fortress will fall, but if they remain intact, no number of attacks can bring you down. So I ask you, do you have a daily trading routine? Do you perform pre-market analysis every single day? Do you journal every trade? Do you have a fixed system for calculating your risk? If not, remember, you are standing in an open field without any fortifications. The rich trader never starts a day without their structure. Their habits are so deeply ingrained that they become automatic. They do not depend on their fluctuating emotions. They depend on their unchanging system. That is the real secret. The market is unpredictable, but your system must be predictable. The market can change, but your structure will protect you from every shift. The fourth formula teaches us that systemization is success. If discipline and mindset are the engine, then daily structure is the fuel. Without it, no trading journey can ever be completed. Yet the story continues. After building a daily structure, you will face the greatest challenge of all, the game of patience and waiting. Yes, the next formula will introduce you to the secret of how professional traders learn to wait and how that very waiting makes them wealthy. Formula 5. Patience is profit. What is the most dangerous thing in the market? It's not losses, it's not a wrong strategy. The most dangerous thing is impatience, that same restlessness that courses through the veins of every new trader, that burning urgency to trade quickly, to extract profits fast, to double your money overnight. This impatience is what digs their grave. Anthony Kreil explains that the market is essentially a psychological battlefield. The victor is always the one who knows how to wait. The market never rewards the man in a hurry. It always rewards the one who can wait for the right opportunity. But this is the most difficult skill to master. Patience. Let me share a dark truth with you. 95% of traders fail not because they lack a strategy. They fail because they cannot wait. For them, every candlestick looks like an opportunity. Every small movement seems like a jackpot. They stare at charts as if they were slot machines, and in their restlessness they take the very trades that ruin them. Consider the analogy of a fisherman. He sits by the ocean with his net. He knows the big fish will only come when the tide is right. If he throws his net in a hurry, he will only catch small fish. But if he is patient at the right moment, he will catch the one big fish that makes all the difference. Trading is exactly the same. You don't need to take every trade, you just need to take the right trades. The new trader sits at the chart and wants to take action every 5 minutes. They think more trades equal more profit. What they don't understand is that more trades simply lead to more mistakes. Now observe the rich trader. They can watch the charts for hours without placing a single trade. Why? Because they understand that patience in itself is a position. For them, taking a trade is less important than the trade being right. They wait for that one opportunity that aligns perfectly with their system and rules, and when that opportunity arrives, they act without a moment as hesitation. The fifth formula is this: patience is profit. Waiting is not a weakness. It is the greatest strength. The market will test you every day to see if you will trade quickly or trade correctly. It will tempt you with every movement, but if you can wait, you will stand apart from the crowd. Now glance back at your own journey. How many times have you said, let me just take this one trade, maybe it will be the jackpot? How many times have you taken trades out of sheer boredom? How many times have you thought doing something is better than doing nothing, and every time the result was the same, a loss? Remember, friends, in the market, doing nothing is also a decision. Patience is not just waiting, it is conquering your impulses. It is controlling your restlessness. It is silencing that inner voice that screams, enter now, or you'll miss the chance. The rich trader's heart also leaps sometimes. They also feel greed and fear. But they possess a power the new trader lacks: patience. They control the urge. They tell themselves, if I miss this trade, it's okay. The market will be here tomorrow. I will wait for the right opportunity. And it is this very mindset that enriches them. Anthony Kreil says that patience is not just a skill, it is survival. The market does not spare the man who always wants to pull the trigger. The market rewards the one who knows when to do nothing. Visualize this. You are an archer on a battlefield. You have a bow and a quiver of arrows. You do not shoot at every movement. You wait for the perfect angle, the right moment, when your single arrow will strike the enemy down. This is patience. If you shoot at every moment, you will quickly run out of arrows. But if you wait, the value of each arrow increases tenfold. So the fifth formula teaches us that patience is the ultimate edge. Strategies can be copied, indicators can be learned, capital can be acquired, but patience is a virtue that very few possess. And it is this patience that truly sets you apart from the crowd. With this, the fifth formula has shown you that patience is profit. But the story is not over, because the market is always changing. Today's trend can break tomorrow. Yesterday's strategy may be useless the day after. History proves that rigid traders lose everything, while those who learn to adapt become legends. Formula 6. Adapt or perish. The market is in a constant state of flux. It is never static, and this is its most dangerous quality. People think that once they learned a strategy, their work is done. But friends, that is the grandest of illusions. The market can turn the very strategy that made you successful against you. Anthony Kreil states that a trader's greatest strength is not their strategy, but their adaptability, their capacity to change. The rigid trader dies, the flexible trader survives. Recall Darwin's principle: survival of the fittest. But fittest does not mean strongest. It means the one most adaptable to change. The one who can change the fastest is the one who survives. The market operates on the exact same principle. Think of the traders you've seen who say, this strategy is my lifeblood. This indicator can never fail. And then suddenly the market takes everything from them. Why? Because the market moved against their core belief. The market changed its shape. The new trader often makes this mistake. They get attached to a single strategy. They become rigid. They tell themselves, no, this will work. The market is just wrong. But the truth is, the market is never wrong. We are wrong when we refuse to adapt. Now look at the rich trader. They know the market is no one's personal property today. There's a trend tomorrow, it's sideways the day after. There's news-driven volatility. The rich trader is not rigid. They adjust their approach to fit the circumstances for them. Adaptability is their most crucial edge. Let me share a dark truth. Most people who fail in trading are not wiped out because they lacked capital. They fail because they refused to change. They tried to fight the market, but no one can win a fight against the market itself. The market is an ocean. If you stand rigid like a rock, the waves will eventually break you apart. But if you become fluid and flexible, like water, you will flow with the waves and reach your destination. Consider the bamboo tree. A storm arrives with powerful winds. Rigid trees snap and break. But the bamboo bends, it sways, it adapts, and after the storm passes, the bamboo is still standing. To be the bamboo in trading is to be adaptable. Anthony Kreil explains that adaptability is just about changing strategies. It means being willing to change at every level. Sometimes you must change your risk approach, your time frame, your tools and methods, and sometimes even your own thinking. Adaptability must become a part of a trader's entire life. A common error new traders make is strategy hopping. They think that if they take a loss, the strategy itself is worthless. They constantly search for a new guru, a new method. This is not adaptability. This is desperation. True adaptability means changing systematically based on observation, logic, and data. The rich trader constantly reviews their journal. They observe what phase the market is in and then make calculated adjustments to their system. This controlled adaptability is what separates them from the crowd. Picture a frightening scene. It's the 2008 financial crisis. The market is crashing. There's blood in the streets. The rigid trader is screaming, "No, the market will come back, I'll hold." And the market swallows them whole. But the adaptable trader understands the game has changed. They change their strategy. They go short, they hedge, they move to cash. And that trader survives. History is a witness that adaptability has always been the line that separates the winners from the losers. The sixth formula is simple and brutal. Adapt or die. The market does not care about your ego. It does not care about your comfort zone. It follows only one rule. Those who can change will survive. Those who cannot will be eliminated. Now the question for you is, are you the rigid trader clinging to old ways, or are you the adaptable trader who can transform yourself to meet any condition? But the story does not end here. Learning to adapt is crucial, but what follows is the formula that will determine your execution the moment. You must act without hesitation when the right opportunity finally appears. Formula 7. Strike without fear. The power of execution. The world of trading is a battlefield. You have donned your armor: discipline, raised your shield: risk management, reset your mind, built your structure, learned patience, and developed adaptability. But imagine if in the midst of battle, with all your weapons ready, you could not bring yourself to strike the enemy. If the opponent stands before you, the opening is clear, but your hands tremble and you lack the courage to release the arrow. What use is all your preparation? This is the essence of execution. Without it, all the other formulas are merely words in a book. The element that makes a real difference in the market is decisive action. The new trader's most significant flaw is that they either over-execute, pulling the trigger everywhere, entering on every candlestick, or they under-execute, freezing with fear when the right opportunity appears, hesitating until the moment is lost. In both scenarios, they are the ones who lose. Now watch the rich trader. They have a clear system. They wait with patience, but the very instant their setup is confirmed, they execute without a moment's delay. They are not trapped by greed or fear. For them, execution is not a debate. It is a reflex. Anthony Kreil puts it perfectly. A trader is only as good as their last execution. It doesn't matter how much you've learned, how many books you've read, or how many mentors you've had. It is all worthless if you cannot execute correctly at the right time. Here is a dark truth. There are many traders who had good setups, who saw the right signals, but they failed to execute. Why? Because they were afraid. They told themselves, what if this trade fails? They waited for the perfect trade, but the market is never perfect. It will always be imperfect, but execution is required nonetheless. What does execution mean? It means that when your system gives a signal, you take action without hesitation. It means you neither overtrade nor freeze. It means you enter and exit exactly according to your plan, even if you are trembling inside. Imagine a soldier. They are trained, armed, and have a strategy, but when the enemy appears, they are too afraid to pull the trigger. What happens? That soldier falls. The same is true in trading. Execution is what keeps you alive. The new trader often fails to execute because they are host to two demons, fear and doubt. Fear says, what if you lose? Doubt says, maybe the setup is unto that good. Wait a little longer, and in that waiting the chance vanishes. Alternatively, greed makes them over-execute, pressing the trigger everywhere until they destroy themselves. The rich trader knows that execution must be emotionless. They execute each trade like a surgeon performing an operation. Cold, calculated, and precise. Not too early, not too late. Just according to the plan. How is execution developed? It doesn't appear overnight. It comes from repetition, from daily practice, from journaling, from self-review, and most importantly, from following your rules without compromise. Anthony Kreil states that a trader's true identity is defined not by what they know, but by what they execute. The great secret of execution is this: you must eliminate the search for the perfect trade from your mind. The perfect trade does not exist. Every trade carries risk. Every trade involves uncertainty, but if your system has given you a signal, you must take action. Execution means taking an imperfect action at the right time. Here is a powerful image. You are a duelist. You know the perfect strike may never come, but if you do one strike at the right time, your opponent will cut you down. Execution is about showing decisiveness even in an imperfect moment. Execution also applies to your exit. Yes, friends, the exit is just as much a part of execution as the entry. The new trader often messes up the exit. They think, let me take a little more profit, or they refuse to cut a loss, hoping the market will come back. The rich trader does neither for them. The exit is as precise and emotionless as the entry, and that is their strength. Execution is a form of surrender. Surrender to the process. You design your system, you test it, you trust it, and when the system says execute, you simply execute. No questions, no debate. This is surrender-based execution. So the seventh formula commands: strike without fear. Opportunities will always come in the market, but the difference between winners and losers is determined by execution. Winners do not hesitate, winners do not overreact. Winners simply execute in a cold and calculated manner, yet the journey continues. After execution comes the formula that will grant you longevity in trading. Formula 8. Consistency. Small steps, monumental wins. We have now arrived at the final formula of this journey, and this is the one that can transform a new trader into a millionaire and a millionaire trader into a legend. The eighth formula is consistency. Small steps, monumental wins. The world of trading is a marathon, not a 100-meter sprint. No one becomes a millionaire from a single lucky shot. Those who endure are the ones who take small, boring but disciplined steps day after day. Consistency is the weapon that extracts you from the chaos of the market and leads you toward certainty, but this is also the most difficult formula to master. Why? Because the human mind craves excitement, thrill, and quick money. Consistency, on the other hand, demands patience, repetition, and a daily grind. This is why the new trader falls into the consistency trap. They will journal for 2 days and forget on the third. They will follow their system for a week and look for shortcuts the next. Then they will declare, trading is not for me. The rich trader does not do this. The rich trader performs the boring tasks consistently. They journal every day. They review their setups every day. They follow the same process every day, win or lose, and this is what sets them apart from the crowd. Consistency does not mean being perfect. It means sticking to the process relentlessly even when you are imperfect. Imagine a person who goes to the gym. They do want to have a perfect workout every day. Sometimes their energy is low, sometimes their mood is off. But if they show up at the gym 5 days a week, year after year, their body will transform. Trading is precisely the same. Small daily steps compounded over time yield enormous results. Anthony Kreil affirms that the difference between winners and losers in the market is not knowledge but consistency. Why? Because knowledge is available to everyone. Books can be read, mentors can be hired, but very few people can maintain the daily, consistent practice required for mastery. The first rule of building consistency is to treat your process as sacred. Your trading journal, your review, your daily routine. This is your worship. If you break it, you are sabotaging your own growth. The second rule is to celebrate the small wins. Every day that you follow your rules is a victory. Whether you made a profit or a loss is secondary. The primary win is that you completed your process, and that process will one day take you to the destination you've always wanted to reach. Let me share a final dark truth. 90% of traders are forced out of the market because they fail at consistency. They have the knowledge, they even have profitable days, but they cannot repeat it. They are focused one day and impulsive the next. They are disciplined for a week, and the next week, greed consumes them. The market spits them out, but the 10% who learn consistency become the winners. Why? Because they understand that success does not come from one trade. It comes from thousands of trades, and the foundation for those thousands of trades is unwavering consistency. Consistency is boring, but boring is powerful. Looking at the same charts every day, following the same system, filling out the same journal, these boring tasks are what deliver extraordinary results. Just as a steady drip of water over years can cut through solid rock, so too can your consistency cut through the market's noise. So friends, this is the eighth and final formula. Consistency. Small steps, monumental wins. If you can embed this formula into your heart, no market condition can shake you. Discipline will start your engine. Risk management will protect you. Mindset will keep you focused. Structure will guide you. Patience will keep you calm. Adaptability will give you the power to change. Execution will drive your actions, but it is consistency that provides the power to all of them. Consistency is the glue that binds all the formulas together to create the complete professional trader. The journey begins now, and so our journey concludes here. But remember, this is not an end, it is a new beginning. You no longer need to just listen to these formulas. You now need to live them. It will take 21 days to build these new habits, and those very habits will change your life. So friends, if this series has provided you with value, if you have learned from it, do not keep it to yourself. Share it, comment below on which formula resonated with you the most, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel, because we will continue to bring you more such transformative journeys that will reshape your trading and your life. Remember, the market will always be tough, but if you remain consistent, no power can stop you, because victory always belongs to those who stand their ground until the very end. So friends, consistency is the key, and that is the ultimate message of this entire book. Thank you. See you in the next video.